So last week we were talking about the biggest lie the left tells itself, the lie that some people are good. Some people are good. They want more government power because they believe they are so good they would not abuse it. Rather than celebrate America for its greatness, the left attacks America for its sins, which implies that other countries don't have sins because they're good. And the left has flushed itself down the philosophical toilet of intersectional racism through the idea that white people are uniquely bad because other races, you guessed it, they're good. Because they've lost the Christian wisdom of original sin and embraced this ridiculous idea, they've lost the most important political sense you can have, the sense of cynicism. They think that right-wing politicians are mean, evil, and racist. Okay, but they think left-wing politicians are just trying to help. Not so okay. They buy into climate change hysteria with a naivete of little children. They want to give their leaders the power to silence conservative speech because they just know they would never abuse such a power because they're good. They buy into the idea of their own good intentions because they look in the mirror and they think, how could I ever distrust a face like that? These mokes have been sold the Brooklyn Bridge of socialism, the idea that powerful people can control production and wealth better than the individuals on the scene, because it never seems to occur to them that powerful people just want more and more power. No, they're nice. They just want to be fair. The left are gullible. They're naive. They're knuckleheads. Here's the thing. I believe in Jesus. I believe that one day Jesus will come back. A guy comes on TV and says, it's the end times, and if you send me just $15, I will help you navigate yourself through the end times, and I'll heal your asthma too. I think to myself, wait a minute. Maybe you just want my $15. Maybe you don't know anything more about this than anybody else, and maybe you're just trying to take my money away. But when people come to the left and they say, it's the environment, the end of it's terrible, everything's going to die, we're all going to die, unless you give me all the power and money, then it'll be fine. The left is like, okay, you look nice, that must be good. I hate capitalism, I hate industry, I hate private property and people getting rich. So if you tell me the world is going to end because of all those things, you must be telling the truth and you must be a good person. It's insane. It is insane. It is gullibility to the degree of insanity. It's gullibility raised to an art. So they bring out this new Green Deal and it's nuts. And the hilarious thing is they put out an FAQ. This is Alexandria Occasional Cortex. She puts out this FAQ. It was written by her chief of staff, and it gets so badly mocked and so badly torn to shreds that she says, well, the RNC hacked into my computer and changed it all, and we didn't. That was an early draft. She was lying. She was lying. The underlying info in the computer shows that it was her document. She put it out, and the stuff in it. It wasn't even the stuff everybody made fun of, like, we'll pay you if you're unwilling to work. It was just the absolute idea, the right idea. It says the Green New Deal resolution is a 10-year plan to mobilize every aspect of American society at a scale not seen since World War II to achieve a net zero greenhouse gas emissions and create economic prosperity for all. Why would you not believe that? And have you noticed that it's not World War II? I mean, has anybody happened to notice? They keep talking about this, but has anybody thought like, yeah, but excuse me, a hand in the back, it's not World War II. Why are we mobilizing the country? This will move America to 100% clean and renewable energy. I think we're now at about 10%, and you can't really store it, and it doesn't, the wind keeps stopping, the sun goes down. It doesn't work as well. It doesn't work as well as fossil fuels, which can be incredibly clean, and they won't even use nuclear energy. They said no nuclear energy because it's like a cult. It's like the superstition. Nobody except at Chernobyl has ever died from nuclear energy. It can be done cleanly. That was a problem with the Soviet Union, not with nuclear energy. Just amazing. It will ensure a just transition for all communities and workers to ensure economic security for people in communities that have historically relied on fossil fuel industries. It will ensure justice and equity for frontline communities by prioritizing investment, training, climate, and community resiliency, economic and environmental benefits for these communities. It will build on FDR's second Bill of Rights by guaranteeing a job with a family-sustaining wage. A job with a family-sustaining wage, family and medical leave, vacations and retirement security, high-quality education, including higher education and trade schools, clean air and clean water, access to nature, healthy food, high-quality health care, safe, affordable, adequate housing, economic environment, free of monopolies, economic security for all who are unable or unwilling to work. And if you just take one bottle of this a day, your hair will grow back and you will be potent once again, you folks. It's insane. It is snake oil. How could anybody look at this? If somebody is trying to sell me snake oil, would I say to myself, well, yeah, it's snake oil, but it's the idea. We're working toward these things. A con man is a con man is a con man. It's just all a con. And so, of course, the first thing people ask is, how are you going to pay for this? And Alexandria Occasional Cortex, she has one, somebody, by the way, somebody wrote me a letter saying, you stole Alexandria Occasional Cortex from Michael Savage, and you've got to credit him. I've never listened to Michael Savage. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm sure he didn't catch it from me. It's kind of a gimme. It's kind of built into her name. But anyway, she explains where the money is going to come from. This is cut number 5.
The first thing that we need to do is kind of break the mistaken idea that taxes pay for 100% of government expenditure. It's just not how government expenditure works. We can recoup costs, but oftentimes you look at, for example, the GOP tax cut, which I think was an irresponsible use of government expenditure, but government projects are often financed by a combination of taxes, deficit spending, and other kinds of investments, bonds and so on.
Well, I get that, but deficit spending is borrowing money that has to be paid back eventually through taxes.
Yeah, and I think that is always the crux of it. So when we decide to go into the realm of deficit spending, we have to do so responsibly. We ask, is this an investment, or is this actually going to pay for itself?
So you're saying borrow the money, make the investment, the economy will grow, we'll pay off the debt.
Absolutely, because we're creating jobs.
That's economics for knuckleheads, economics for stupid people. Like the government makes no money. The government creates no jobs. There are government jobs, but they always cost more than normal jobs. They're actually taking jobs away. They're always a net loss in jobs. Why? Because in order to create the jobs, you got to collect the taxes. You got to move the taxes. Each dollar is being decimated by going through the government process. If I hire somebody, it's like, you give me money because I'm selling you soap. Then I use the money that I got, the profit I got for soap, to hire somebody. It's just a clean deal, and I create jobs. The government never creates jobs. The government takes people's money, which would be used for creating jobs, and makes fewer jobs. That's how that works. The other side of this, of course, is the government takeover that it represents, this Green New Deal. And this is the thing, whenever you hear people, Obama used to do this all the time, we need to invest. We need to invest. My immediate question, and not one reporter ever asked this question, my immediate question is, why do you get to invest my money? Why don't I get to invest my money? Why not? Why isn't my decision to invest my money on a dinner for my wife at a local restaurant? Why isn't that better than your power? You're taking the power to invest the money I earned, the money I went to work for, I earned, and you invested in some company that gave you money, like one of your solar panel friends, that wants the money from the government. Why is that right? Why is that moral? I do not see the morality of that. So whenever they talk about the morality of that, they're really talking about government takeovers, because the people are gullible, right? So here is AOC being asked in the morning about this on radio, and then explaining at night. These are two different cuts spliced together on the same day of whether or not this represents a massive government takeover.
Are you prepared to put on the table that, yes, actually, they're right? What this requires is massive government intervention?
It does. Yeah, I have no problem saying that.
I think one way that the right does try to mischaracterize what we're doing as though it's like some kind of massive government takeover.
So it's a massive government takeover, but that lousy right, they're telling people it's a massive government takeover. And just the fact that nobody stops on the left, nobody stops and says, well, wait just a minute. What is going on here? Listen to Cory Booker. Cory Booker endorsed this. Kamala Harris endorsed this. In their endorsements, they show the way they induce this gullibility in people who are asking for it. I mean, everybody wants to believe that their guys are the good guys. Here on the right. We actually do question people. It was never the right. When Reagan was president, the right ripped him apart. Now we have these guys who are never Trumpers and everybody picks on them, but at least they're not worshiping their leaders. The leader is not the guy. The ideas are what we're after. I say Trump has done a good job because he's implemented good ideas. I don't trust everything he says. I don't believe everything he says, and I don't let him carry me away with passion. This is what the left does. So here's Cory Booker endorsing this crazy thing.
Our planet is in peril, and we need to be bold. It's one of the reasons why I signed on to the resolution, I co-sponsored the resolution for the Green New Deal. And there's a lot of people now that are blowing back on the Green New Deal. They're like, oh, it's impractical. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's all of this. If we used to govern our dreams that way, we would have never gone to the moon. God, that's impractical. You see that ball in the sky? That's impractical. We are a nation that has done impossible things before. And my parents taught me reach for the moon, reach for the stars. Even if you come up short, at least you're going to be hovering above the ground. You'll be soaring, young man. And so we need to be bold again in America. We need to have dreams that other people say are impossible. We need to push the bounds of human potential because that is our history. And when the planet has been in peril in the past, who came forward to save Earth from the scourge of Nazi and totalitarian regimes? We came forward.
I thought it was Captain Marvel when he was asked who came forward to save Earth. The planet was in peril. The planet is in peril, so you're supposed to panic and not ask too many questions. The planet is in peril. The planet is in peril. And anyone who disagrees is a denier. Remember those Holocaust deniers? Well, this has the same word in it, so it's the same thing. I mean, the fact that anyone of intelligence, of any kind of normal intelligence, buys into this. The people don't say, hold on. What happens if I don't panic? What happens if I just proceed with due deliberate speed and check out the facts and read up on this? And what if every time somebody says, panic and give me power, panic and give me money? I think, and it's the same as that guy on TV going, send me $15 and put your hand on the TV screen and I will heal you. It's the same damn thing. And it's like, why don't they have any kind of cynicism? Any kind of question? The gullibility is amazing. It is amazing level. So A, it's the panic, and then B, it's the silencing. It is the silencing of people who disagree. Here's Kamala Harris also buying into this monstrosity.
I support a Green New Deal, and I will tell you why. Climate change is an existential threat to us, and we have got to deal with the reality of it. We have got to deal with the reality of the fact that there are people trying to peddle some idea that we should deny it, and they are peddling science fiction instead of what we should do, which is rely on science fact.
So that's the other aspect of this, right? It's panic, don't think, and also don't let anybody argue. Do not let anybody argue. We have science fiction, and then we have science fact. And anybody who's telling you that I'm wrong, anybody who's telling you not to give me the power, anybody telling you not to increase government power is just dealing in science fiction. There is an article in City Journal. I love City Journal. I'm a contributing editor there, just to be open about it. But I also think it's a great, great magazine. They put out things on their Dead Tree issue first, and then they put them up online. So this will eventually be up online at the website City Journal. It's an article by Guy Sorman, which is basically an interview with this climatologist, Judith Curry, who has stepped out of the academic world because she says that climate science has simply become too political to get at the truth. And this is what she says. She says, scientists are human beings with human motives. Nowadays, public funding, scientific awards, and academic promotions go to the environmentally correct. Among climatologists, a person must not like capitalism or industrial development too much and should favor world government rather than nations. That's how science is being constructed in the climatology business, right? So it's not science anymore, it's politics. And here she is explaining why she didn't buy into it.
Well, climate science has become highly politicized, and the strategy used by the climate community to influence public policy is speaking consensus to power. So over the past several decades, they've worked to build this consensus. And following the 2009 ClimateGate episode, I started challenging the consensus, saying, wait a minute, We haven't been sufficiently transparent. We haven't adequately characterized the uncertainties. We shouldn't be dismissing skeptics. I mean, we have to do a better job. And I started saying things like that I thought were completely reasonable, but I was immediately thrown out of the tribe, if you will, and labeled as a heretic, denier, whatever else.
So ClimateGate, if you don't remember, is that time they hacked into the emails of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, and they found emails from Michael Mann and other people basically saying we must not let the public for one moment doubt what we're doing. And they've been covering that up. They've been covering that up forever. And I remember Stephen Colbert going on the air saying, well, just because they said that doesn't mean they're lying. And of course, that's true, but it does mean you should just be a little bit cynical. Since they're asking for power, since they're asking for money, since they're benefiting from an industry that wants them to have a certain kind of opinion, just a little bit of cynicism, a little bit of slow it down a little bit of doubt. It's amazing that the left cannot catch on to this because they think it's a battle between good and evil instead of imperfect people, each of them out for his own interest, which is really what politics is all about.